Hi yogis, namaste. I'm here to tell you about a couple of different beings today, Avalokitesvara and Kuan Yin, who are both bodhisattvas. And bodhisattva is a term you may have heard before. It's someone who's taken a vow to not give up, basically, until everyone around them is healed in some way. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but let me tell you the story first. So Avalokitesvara was this being who had a really deep spiritual practice and worked so hard at it and transcended, went through many, many levels of spiritual transformation and what felt like rebirths, rebirth of the heart and mind, and transcended. And basically it was like climbing a giant mountain. And we're talking metaphorical, right? This is an inner mountain, but that feeling of like working so hard to climb that mountain and reaching higher and higher levels of transcendence. And when he finally gets to the top of this mountain, at the mountain peak, there's a giant stone wall. And this is the last thing to transcend, to climb over. And so Avalokitesvara begins the process of climbing this wall inside his own heart. And when he reaches the top of the wall and looks over at it, it's just infinitely beautiful. It's beautiful like in such a way that no words can describe. And as he looks over this wall, he has the feeling of like, I'm supposed to go over. This is what's next. This is the end of the line. This is enlightenment. This is oneness. This is samadhi. It's right there on the other side of this wall. And he goes to climb over it, brings one foot over this wall. And as he's doing so, all of a sudden behind him, he hears the sound. And it's such a sad sound. It's like a low moan that starts to get louder and louder, almost like a wail, a cry. And instinctively he knows this is all the beings who haven't reached this point yet. And he feels like, oh no, this is their cry. They need me. When I leave this world, they won't have me to help them anymore. And so instead of going over that wall, he pulls his leg back and he goes back down the mountain. And that's essentially the Bodhisattva vow, which I'll read you. There's many versions of it, but here's one version. I postpone the final beatification, the final stage of complete enlightenment, the last step of evolution for any conscious being, and dedicate my existence to the benefit and progress of conscious sentient beings everywhere. I will work for their opportunity to attain what I have attained. One day, all sentient beings will stand where I now stand. Then we will all jump over this last wall together. So that's really beautiful. And it said that Avalokitesvara came back again and again and again in many, many incarnations. And I bet in your life you've met some of those incarnations. And one in particular is Kuan Yin. So Kuan Yin is considered the female version of Avalokitesvara, this being, this bodhisattva of compassion, who will not leave the world until every single soul is awakened, is healed, is saved, is brought up to that wall with her. And one of the mantras that you can use to cultivate this energy is Om Mani Padme Hum. That's considered, it's called the Mani Mahamani mantra, and the great jewel. And that great jewel mantra can be one way to work on your own heart and mind, to kind of polish them so that you too can become a bodhisattva like Avalokitesvara